Hi, I'm Jonathan Jones. We're here at the Roundtable Live as a presenting sponsor for the second year in a row. This year we finished up where we left off last year with a bore shot across the road behind me into a handhold for some facilities that already existed in place. So we drilled out, avoiding some conflicts with the existing utilities, and pulled back a piece of 2-inch HDPE poly pipe attached with tracer wire prescribed by the manufacturer in their methods. We brought it back. It stays right outside of the existing pipe, follows the same path as the pipe itself. I believe these gentlemen are going to do some proofing on it right now before we set everything up. And the product pulls back very nicely, pulls back real easy with a 2-inch pipe.
So one of the major reasons it's important to have an inspection of tracer wire after the installation is too many times after or during the pullback of the product and the tracer wire, there will be a fault or that wire will actually pull apart. So in that scenario, the contractor leaves and it's impossible to track them down, and subsequently impossible to actually locate that utility after the fact. So doing a bore and then doing a post-bore inspection of the quality of that tracer wire is critical.
I'm Joe Sylvia. I am the business unit manager for Neptco. We are the manufacturers of TraceSafe. They're pulling in TraceSafe with a 2-inch HDPE pipe, and we pulled about 150 feet. Generally speaking, when you're dealing with a plastic pipe, you're going to need to have some type of a tracer with it so that you can find it. Once it's buried, you have to be able to find it for future, and that's what the product is for. Essentially, the way these connectors are designed, you can have an end-to-end, which allows you to just daisy chain all along the way until you get to a far end ground. That's absolutely fine. Or you could do a lateral off of it and you could have a ground someplace else. They're a universal connector. They can do end-to-end or lateral. In fact, we had one that we installed last year. So this was in direct sunlight the entire time. This year we put a UV inhibitor in it. This has a UV inhibitor in the plastic itself. We just changed the color. And the plastic itself is still very, very strong after a year in the direct sunlight. The nice thing about this particular product is its strength. This is an 1,800 pounds of pulling strength. It's the strongest wire on the market, maybe even the world. So with that, you only have to have one wire. The other nice thing about the wire is if there's any damage to the jacket, the yarn itself that's giving it its tenacity is woven with a super absorbent powder. And if there's any damage to the jacket, it swells up almost like a baby diaper and keeps the water away from the conductor, and that's what gives it a long life. Yeah, to check the wire, it's really going to be up to what is the contractor required to do. But in general, to check the wire, we're going to need a ground, at least at the far end. And you can do that with a temporary thing. For example, you can take a long screwdriver, pound that into the earth, and you can create a jumper with a 12 gauge wire, connect that into a TraceSafe connector. So essentially, the 12 gauge wire would come in here, the TraceSafe would go in there, you close it up, and you would energize the stud, and you would walk the line to the far end. So if we want to tee off to a gas service, okay, essentially we have a 12 gauge wire, and we have this adapter sleeve that goes onto it. It is split, so we would connect onto the main line, like so. And that goes here. Okay, so we'll pretend that's the main line. And then we're going to take a piece of TraceSafe, and that goes here. And then we close it down with a pair of channel locks. And now you have a connection. One of the tools that we have is an accessory item. This is a temporary locate tool. Basically, if there is no connector in place, a locator with this tool can put the TraceSafe in and squeeze it down. And what's happening is we are now making contact with the conductor underneath. They simply attach here and it energizes the wire. They can remove it, and yes, it does leave a little mark in there, but again, we have a super absorbent powder, so it's going to absorb any water that would get inside and it will not harm the conductor. This will save you so much time. You won't have to do anything. Essentially, you just click it in, close it, you're locating. No stripping required. And putting it back to its normal condition is just a question of taking it off and moving on to the next job.